Okay, so good evening, everybody. Yes, so welcome to today's Python class. Okay, I think most of the people have joined by now. Yeah. Okay. So yes. Okay. Am I audible? Okay. Are you people? Are everyone able to hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's continue. So in the last class, we were seeing the last program in the last class, which we were seeing was multiplication table. Okay, but as the time was close, so we weren't able to complete the program. Okay, so in today's class, we will be starting with multiplication table, and also then we will be seeing different types of programs in today's class. Okay, so like we will be implementing different concepts which we have learned. Okay, so yes. So yes, so I hope my screen is also visible to everybody. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the first program which we will be discussing today is multiplication table. Okay, so just let me go to the compiler. Okay, so what is this multiplication table program will actually do? It will not normally it will take a number from the user and it will give table. Like if you take 3, then it will print a table of 3, like 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6, 3 fours are 8, like such. Okay, so just we want something output like that. Okay, so we will be writing program for that. Okay, so before starting any program, you shall compulsorily have a comment which says that which gives the name for that program. Okay, what name shall are we going to give? I will write program for printing the multiplication table. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So just let us start. Now I want a number which I want a number from the user. So I will take that as a variable called number. Okay. In that I will get, since I have to get the number from the user, which function should I have to use? I will be using this function called as input function. Okay. Then I will write this text called as enter the number. Okay. So then now we have to, since we have to multiply starting from 1 up to 10, like if you have 3, you have to multiply 3 with 1, 3 with 2, 3 with 3, 3 with 4, then you have to say product. Okay, then you have to print the product. Okay, so since you have this thing, you always want a loop. Okay, so you might use while loop, for loop, etc. Okay, but for me, for loop, for this program, for requirement like this, for loop fits perfectly. So that's why we will be using for loop. Okay, so for I in range. Okay, for I in range, where do we have to start? We have to start from 1 and we have to end till 12. Okay, so we have 10 till 12. Okay, so now after every loop you have to keep a colon. Okay, when you keep a colon, okay, here it means that you are writing the code inside that loop. Okay, so now what you have to do is you just want to print. Okay, first let me print the number. Okay, so if you want to print the number, I will write number, then 1 second, then you can write a comma. Okay, so you can write a comma, then after that I need a sign called as multiply. Okay, just follow this, I will explain you. Then I will need the value of I. Okay, then I will need the value of number multiplied by I. Okay, multiplied by I. Okay. So I hope this will print. Okay, but I will need one more thing, which is equals to. Okay, so this is equals. So this is simple code. Okay, so let us see whether it will give output or not. Okay, now it is saying me to enter a number. So I will enter 3. Okay, so now you can see the whole table for 3 is printed. Like, see, I am having this table called as 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6, 3 threes are 9, from 3 ones are to 3 tens. Okay, so this is called as multiplication table. Okay, so how is this possible? This is the whole logic for this lies in these two statements called for loop and print statement. Okay, anyone who has any doubts regarding for loop or any doubts regarding print loop, just try to focus here. You will have all your doubts cleared. Okay, so what does for loop do? Whenever you write a variable here, okay, so you have to mention a range. Okay, so when you write 1, the value of the I starts from 1, and you mention 11, the value of I goes till 10. Okay, yeah. What if we directly print number into I? Yes, you can directly print, but you will get simple 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so that is also multiplication table, but sometimes they will give you specific output. Okay, sometimes if you have lab exam or etc., so there it will ask you to just they will give output like this. Okay, they want the multiplication table to be printed like this. Okay, so when you want the multiplication table to be printed like this, you have to use this print statement. Or else if you just want the final values like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, you just want to write only the last, no need of this whole thing, just write number into I, then you will get simple. That is also okay. Okay, so but why am I teaching you this thing? Because we will learn more about the print statement. Okay, so your requirement in future might be differing from how you want to print. Okay, so here I am printing the number. See, when you have to print more than one variable, like see what the most important thing in this print statement is, I am printing a variable, I am printing a string, again I am printing a variable and a string. Okay, so when you have to print multiple types of data, okay, in a common print statement, okay, so you have to use this special operator in Python which we have. You have to follow comma. Okay, like in the last class there was some problem with this program because we were getting, instead of 6 we were getting 3. Okay, anyone who is all the people who are present in the last class will understand, because there instead of comma we were using plus. Okay, so when we put plus, all these variables are understood as strings. Okay, so it will not multiply, and it was giving 333. Okay, so but here since we are using comma, the Python compiler will consider these as variables. Okay, so this is the program which we have. Okay, so to print the multiplication table of any number. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, so let me just copy this. So then, yeah. So the next program for today's class will be the program to print the greatest of 3 given numbers. Okay, normally this program requires 3 numbers from the user. Okay, so now then we will check, okay, which is the greatest number among the 3. Okay, so before going that, we have to understand a new statement in Python called as elif statement. Okay, so yes. Okay, I think yes, Srikant, there was some problem with the internet and which is resolved now. Okay, I hope the voice is clear now. Okay, so just let us go to this elif statement now. Elif statement. Okay, so what is elif statement? Elif statement is similar to else if else statement. Okay, so what happens when you have one condition? Okay, if you are having one condition, you can use if, like you can use if condition number 1. Okay, then you place a colon. Okay, then you write statement. Okay, but say you also have one more condition. Okay, if you have 2 conditions, then you might want to check the other condition also. Okay, so when you have one condition, then if loop is enough, but sometimes if you have more than one condition, you have to use this statement called as elif statement. Okay, so what is the full form of elif? Elif means else if. Okay, what does else if do? If this condition 1 is true, okay, then I will let me complete this syntax. Okay, okay. Okay, so sometimes when you have more than one condition, okay, if you have one condition, you can use if loop, the story is over. But sometimes if you have more than one condition, you have to use this statement called as elif statement. There you can write any number of conditions. So each condition, when this condition 1 is true, statement 1 will be executed. No statement 2, statement 3 will not be executed. But when condition 1 is false, but condition 2 is true, okay, when condition 2 is true, statement 2 will be executed. If condition 3 is true, statement 3 will be executed, and so on. You can write any number of conditions. Okay, you can write any number of elif loop. Then we have else. Okay, like I hope you all remember else. Okay, whenever there is else, if all these conditions fail, this means that if all the above conditions do not turn out to be true, then the statement inside else will be executed. Okay, so this is what we have, elif statement. Okay, so now we will be using elif statement in here. Okay, so first, what is this program? This program will print which is the greatest number among 3. Okay, so first, how to check greatest number among 3? Okay, just let us go to the program. Okay, so what is this program for? Program for printing the greatest number among 3 numbers. Okay, so now let us say instead of taking number, I will take 3 numbers as A, number 1 as A, number 2 as B, number 3 as C. So just you can copy this also. Okay, so instead of writing it again and again, just copy. Now instead of A, I will write B. Okay, and instead of B, here I have written C. So now these three lines are simple. What are these three lines doing? They are taking input from the user. Okay. So now let us compare if, okay. So first I am comparing if A is greater than B. Okay. What is if A is greater than B? Then we have to also compare whether A is greater than C also. Okay. So then let me compare if A is greater than C also. Okay. So if A is greater than B and if A is also greater than C, then what we can say? We can say that A is biggest. Okay. So we can, instead of A, what do we have to write? We can write percentile D is biggest, comma, no need of comma, just we have to write percentile D. Okay. So what it will do, it will give you output that A is the biggest. Okay. So what I normally do is I do have more of program to write, but I will not write right now. I will check this much program. If this much program is running, then we will proceed. Okay. If this is good, then we will proceed. Okay. What is happening in here? It is checking whether A is greater than B. Then it is checking whether A is greater than C. If it is greater, what it is saying? It is saying that that number is biggest. Okay. So just let me run this. Then I am giving A as 9, B as 8, and C as 7. Okay. Yes, there is some program. 1 second. So instead of percentile D, okay. So let me remind you. Okay. So there was this class. Okay. Just so that you can also revise by yourself. Okay. Class 3. 1 second. Okay, so instead of percentile D, okay, the percentile D will not work for this type of functions. Okay, what we will do is we will use placeholders. Okay, so what is anyone who has missed previous class, okay, you can learn this here. Okay, here what we are doing is instead of, we normally write percentile D's in C language. Okay, so but that C language percentile D code is not copied. So here, okay, just write, let us write A. Okay. See, now it is saying that 9 is the biggest number. Okay, so this is how you have to print with percentile D. Okay, so what you will write when you write percentile D, the respective variable value you should write here as percentile A. Okay, so this is the one method. But sometimes some programmers they don't use percentile D. They will use this type of flower brackets. What are these called? These are called as placeholders. Okay, so when you use these type of placeholders, okay, instead of this percentile A, you have to use this special function called as format. Okay, in that format you have to write the name of that variable. You can write, if you want to print the value of A, you can write A. Okay, let me just run. So again, it is saying the same, 9 is biggest. So I hope the two things are clear. Like writing, you can print the number, the value of the number in the double quotes using percentile D also, and you can also print the number using format also. So you should be clear with both the codes. Okay, depending upon what your convenience is, you can write. Okay, so but you should be clear with the both the codes. Okay. Now let us come back to our program. What is happening here? Like when I enter 9 is greater than 8. Yes. Okay. So it is entering inside this for loop. Okay. Inside this if loop. Okay. Inside this if loop, there is another if loop. Again, it is checking whether 9 is greater than C, 7. 9 is also 7. 9 is also greater than 7. That's why it is printing 9 is the biggest number. Yes, 9 is the biggest number, obviously. Okay. So now let us say, okay, so this statement, the second if loop becomes false. Okay, just please focus here. This is the important part. This becomes true. Okay, but this becomes false. What? Like we have A, B, and C. Okay, so when A is greater than B, then we obviously know that B is not the greatest. So I will cross B. Okay, so then this statement A is greater than C, this is false. Okay, when A is greater than C, when the statement A is greater than B is false, it means that A is not greater than C. When A is not greater than C, then we can say that C is greater than A. When C is greater than A, now we can say that C is the biggest number. Yes. So that's why, okay. So that's why what I am going to do is in the else statement, okay. So I have this else statement. I will print C is the biggest. Okay. So what I will do, I will just copy this. Okay. So instead of here A, what I'm going to write, I will write C. Okay. So so what is happening here? If A is greater than B, well and good. If A is also greater than C, A is biggest. If A is not greater than C, then C is biggest. Yes. I hope everyone is clear till now. Okay. Anyone has any doubt, please ask. Okay. We are going, before we are proceeding further in this program. Is there any problem? Is there any doubt regarding format function? Any doubt? Using if, okay, using if inside and if, okay. Okay, seems like there is no problem. Okay, so we will proceed further. Okay, now I am using this new statement called as elif. Okay, so what is elif? Okay, you can mention like this is one type of condition. You can mention one more condition. Okay, so now what I mean, so is what let us see. Now let us say this is false. The first statement is false. Now again I have three variables. This is false. What does it mean? A is not greater than B. When A is not greater than B, we can eliminate A. Right? When we eliminate A, now we are left with B and C only. So what we have to do, we have to compare B and C. Yes. So to compare B and C, just write if else if is same to elif. So I will write elif B is greater than C. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are comparing whether B is greater than C. Okay, now this is false. Okay, when this condition is false, then only we will come to elif, right? So when A is not greater than B and B is greater than C, then we can obviously say that B is the biggest among three. Okay, so let me print. This means that B, I have to just replace here. Now what it will print, it will say that B is the biggest. Okay, so now this is one of the else if statement. Okay, now else if is over. Like we should also write else. Like I have explained you here, there is if, there is else if, there is else if, there is else if. You can write any number of elifs, and in the end you have to write else, right? So I have only one elif, so now I will be writing else. Okay, so here I will write else and a colon. So now let us go when does the compiler or the control comes under else? When this statement is, the first condition is false and the second condition is also false, then only the control comes under this else, right? So let us see what happens. Let us take again the three numbers A, B and C. Now let us check. This condition is false, right? This means that A is not greater than B. When A is not greater than B, we can eliminate A. Done. So again, this condition is also false. What does this mean? B is not greater than C. When B is not greater than C, B is also eliminated. So when will the control come under this last else? When C is only biggest, then only we have this last control statement. So that's why in this statement, in the last else statement, which is also called as default statement, we will write C is the biggest. Okay, so I hope now we are covering all the cases or all the scenarios where when we have three numbers and we might have different values. Okay, so we can print any number, can be anything. We can print the biggest number among the three. Okay, so just now let us check the output. Okay, now let me give 8, 11 and 6. See here it is giving B. Okay, here it is going in the case of B again, because among 8, 11 and 6, 11 is biggest. It is saying 11 is biggest. Okay, just to check everything, now I will give 5, 6 and 20. Okay, now see again it is printing that 20 is the biggest. Okay, so this is how you have to use here in this program. We are using two new concepts. One, we are using nested if else. Okay, so we are using if inside if. Okay, when you use if inside an if, this is called as nested if. And also we are using elif and else. Okay, so these are the new concept. Again, for anyone who has missed previous classes, here we are using placeholders, and also we have learned how to use percentile D and percentile F and percentile C. Okay, so these are the some concept. Okay, so I hope this is clear. If anyone has any doubt, I will revise this program for you, no problem, because it is little confusing. Okay, so if anyone has any doubt, anyone wants quick repetition, please ask. Okay, if not, we will go to the next program. Okay. Okay, I can see. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this means that everyone is clear. Okay, so now we will be going to the next program, and what I want is definitely all of you want to try this. Okay, so everyone who is having computer or laptop, please try it on your devices. Okay, even if you are not having computer, there are some Python compilers which you can run on mobile phones. Okay, yeah. Percentile D, yes, Lahari percentile D is similar to this placeholder. Okay, so instead of writing this placeholder as flower brackets, you can also write percentile D. Simple. There is nothing different about percentile D and percentile this placeholder. But whenever you are having an integer, like here I am printing an integer, right? So when you are printing an integer, you have to write percentage D. Okay, if you are printing a form of floating type, you have to write percentile F. Okay, if you are printing a character, you have to write percentile C. Okay, so that is what we have percentile D. Okay, you have all that in my previous class notes. Okay, so here I have given you all that, like we have printed percentile D. Like, see, these are some of the programs which we ran. Which day's class? This is 15th February class notes. Okay, so here we have learned about input output function. Okay, so like, see, here I have taught you placeholders, and here I have also taught you percentile D, and here I have also taught you like using percentile 10.3 of how to use, what it does, etc. Okay, so just try to refer these notes. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you will understand. Okay, so this is what we have about percentile D. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, just let me copy this program. Else. Okay, so inside this else, let me write default statement. What is default statement? Default statement is when all the other statements get false, anything written in default will be printed. Okay, so this is default statement. Okay. So this is the program we have. Okay. So then, yeah, so let's quickly go to our next program. Okay, what is this next program? Yes, this program is to find grade and percentage. Okay, so here we will be using a new operator. Okay, again we are learning new concept. Like, these are not simply example programs. Like, each and every program which I will be discussing in this class, you will be coming across learning new concept in the Python. Okay, like if you are using the greatest, you are learning else if. Okay, so if we have if we are doing multiplication table, we are learning about print statement, how to print multiple values, how to print a string and integer, etc. Okay, again we have this new operator called as AND operator. Okay, so before going AND operator, before going into the program, let us understand AND operator here. Okay, so what happens is, sometimes in if loop, okay, so you in if loop you normally use one condition. Okay, but sometimes you might want to use more than one condition. Okay, so when you combine more than one condition, then you have to when you have to combine more than one condition, then you have to use these two operators called as AND operator and OR operator. Okay, and operator, comma, or operator. Okay, these two are new types of operator which we will be discussing today. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so before I will let us discuss this program in here first. What is this program? This program is to find a character, whether a character is vowel or consonant. Okay, simple. So just what we will do is, first just we will see program, then we will discuss what is AND operator and what is OR operator. Okay, so like now, just let us go to this program. Okay, this program is to find whether a character is vowel or consonant. Okay, so what is vowel or consonant? Okay, so we have all the 5 characters A, E, I, O, U. Okay, we have all these 5 characters A, E, I, O, U are called as vowels, and anything other in this alphabets like B, C, D, okay, F, G, H, these all the others are called as consonant. Okay, so now we have to get a character from the user, and we have to tell whether that character is vowel or not. Okay, if the user enters A, we have to tell that yes, this is a vowel. If the user enters B, we have to say that B is a consonant. Okay, so simple. But here we will be using the new operator called as or operator. Okay, so now first let us take uh, character from the user. Okay, so let me just keep that in here. So I will keep that character in A. So A is equals to input. Okay, so enter a character. Okay, or enter an alphabet. Alphabet can be anything from A to Z. He can enter any alphabet. Okay, so whenever we are entering alphabet, that is stored in A. Simple. So now what I have to do, I have to compare whether A is E, I, O, U. Okay, so if you want to compare which loop we have to use, we have to use if loop. Okay, so in if loop, what we will do, just we will write a bracket. Okay, so now I will compare A with A. Okay, okay, so this will be little complex. So here I will rename this. I will rename this as alphabet. Okay, so here what I will do is, if the alphabet which the user entered, okay, if the alphabet user entered is equals to A. Okay, just say if the alphabet which user has entered is equals to A, then we can say that it is a vowel, right? Okay, so then just write a colon in here. Okay, so then I will print that it is a vowel. Okay, so just I am comparing and just I am printing that it is a vowel. Okay, just let us run. It is saying that enter an alphabet. I have entered an alphabet. It is showing that it is a vowel. It is working now. Okay, so now I have to also check whether it is equal to E. I have to check alphabet whether it is equals to E, I, O, U. Okay, so here let me just mention anyone who does not know. Okay, A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so these are called vowels. Okay, all the other alphabets are consonants. Okay, done. So now if you want to check it again, you have to write one more statement. What statement you have to write? You have to write elif. Okay, like if you have one more condition, like right, if you have to write elif again, you have to check whether alphabet is equals to E. Okay, so one more thing, whenever you are writing a character, everybody please focus here. Okay, whenever you are writing a character, you have to enclose that character in single quotes. Okay, like you can see, I have written A in single quotes. Yes, I have written E in single quotes. Yes, see. Okay, so you can't just write simple E without single quotes. Okay, if you write simple E without single quotes, it will understand that it is a variable. Okay, like alphabet is a variable, A we used to store A is a variable. Okay, so we have to differentiate variable with character. Okay, so if you want to you have to differentiate between variable and a character, you have to mention that character in single quotes always. Okay, please don't forget this thing. Okay, all the characters, anywhere if you are writing a character like A, like dollar or any symbol or anything, all that characters must be included or enclosed in single quotes. Clear? Okay, so just now let me write this thing again, and again I have to print this. Okay, so when you print this, it will work well and good, no problem. Okay, so but you have to write for A, you have to write for E, I, O, U, you have to write 5 else if statements. Yes, you have to, let us copy this. Okay, you have to write 5 else if statements. A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so this is the 5 else if statement. In each and every condition, I am checking whether it is equals to A, whether it is equals to E, I, O, U. Done. Then in the end, I have to write else. Okay, so what do I have to write in the else statement? Anyone, if you can understand what is meaningful if I write in the else statement? Okay, double quotes in input. Yes. Okay, Gopi, good question. I will come to your question just in a second. Now let us come back here. Okay, so what is meaningful? If what do we have to write in else? Okay, anyone? Like, if let me remind you what happens, it will check in all the conditions. Okay, if none of this condition comes to be true, it will print in this, it will print the message written in this else. Okay, So what should we print if none of this condition is true? That means that if the alphabet entered by us is not equals to A, not even E, not even I, not O, not even U. Okay, then what does it mean? Does it mean it is a vowel? Okay, we are pretty sure that it is not a vowel. Yes, Lahari, very good. Now it is clear that it is a consonant. So now it will, instead of writing it is a vowel, we will write it is a consonant. Okay. Okay. So now let us just come back to the question by Gopi. What he is asking, why are we writing here? Here you can see we are writing double quotes for input function. Yes, yes, Jyotika, just I want to explain you this. Then I want to explain you how short we can do this program. So in the next program, I will write the whole condition in single if like. Okay. So just to elaborate or just to explain that, I am writing it like this. Okay. So just be patient. Okay. So just here, whenever you write something in double quotes, this means that it is a string. Okay. Please remember, whenever you write something in double quotes, it means that it is a string. Whenever you write something in single quotes, it means that it is a single character. Okay. So it is a single character. So here I want this string. What is this string? This string is enter an alphabet. Okay, so this string is taken by this function and it will print in here. Okay, so if you want this string to be taken by this function and printed here, you should pass this function. Okay, since you have to pass this function, you have to enter this string, and always you have to enter any string in any programming language. You might take Java, you might take C, C++, Python. All the strings should have double quotes. Okay, clear. Like we already are less on time. Just let us try this program. Okay, so it is saying that for me to enter any character, when I enter E, it is saying that vowel. Yes, it is correct. Now let me enter Z and see whether it will say it is consonant or not. Yes, it is saying that it is a consonant. Okay, so it is well and good. Okay, but I will do this all of this loop in single if statement also by using or condition. Okay, how to use or condition? Just quickly we will go. Okay, so now what I will do is I will remove all these if statements. Okay, just please try to focus. Okay, so when I have removed these all statements, okay, now instead of here I will write or. Okay, I will write or and just focus here. You can use or statement and write all the things. So what I am placing all the conditions in single if loop statement. Okay, when you place all the conditions in single if statement, you have to in the middle you have to have either or you have to have either and. Okay, so instead of A, here I will write O. Okay, and A, E, I. Okay, O, U. Okay, so just remove this or. So done. So now what am I doing? I am placing all the conditions in single if loop, and just I am printing it is a vowel. Okay. So now, okay, 1 second. Okay. So now let us check whether this will work or not. Okay. See, again it is saying A is vowel. Okay. I is also vowel. Okay, so now you can see if you have this and or operator, what it does is, okay, you can place multiple number, you can join more number of conditions in single statement. Okay, how to join more number of conditions? Just write one condition, then or, then just write another condition. Okay, so then we also have and operator. Like I have explained you here, we have and operator and we also have or operator. What happens is or operator will give true when all the conditions are when any one of the condition is true. Okay, even if one condition is true, it will give true and it will print it is a vowel. Okay, if instead of or, if I print and, what it requires all the conditions to be true. Okay, when all the conditions true, then only we will get print statement. Okay, so that is the class for today because we are out of time. Okay, so I will proceed with this and or in tomorrow's class. Okay, so any doubts? Okay, I hope we will discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, so yes, okay, so we will be ending our class by now. Okay, yeah, any doubts before this class gets ended? because it is saying me for less than 1 minute. I don't want to like end the class abruptly. Okay, that's why I'm just ending it prematurely. Okay, so yes, I think everyone is clear. Okay, just try to use this or. Okay, I will explain and operator in tomorrow's class. There you will understand more what is difference between and or. Okay, so just here remember that for this program we need or operator. Okay, yes.